everyone, and welcome to Talk About Scary, where we do just that. Talk about scary things, scary people, scary places, scary toys, scary ideas. And I am Shelina.
I'm Adam. Hey.
And Adam has some housekeeping that he'd like to take care of.
I do actually. So as you all know, I say this every episode, we have a great new special out. You can watch it on the Amazon Prime Video. You can also watch it now on Roku TV, or you can watch it right here on our YouTube channel if you're actually listening to us on the YouTube. If you're on the podcast, if you're listening to a podcast right now on Spotify, one of those things, you can watch it on YouTube, guys. Kind of figure that out. Anyway, it's called Ghostly Secrets of the Hotel San Carlos. You can watch that right now. We have another ghost hunting thing we had just finished, Clay and I. But with the Hotel San Carlos, I should say, pretty exciting. Found some really interesting stuff there. I think you guys really love it. So go ahead, give it a watch. Maybe like it. Maybe make a comment or two. We'd love to hear your feedback. Also, we have a lot more ghost hunting specials coming your way, so we hope that you guys stay tuned for that. Some of them Shelina will be on, some of them Clay and I will be on, some of them will be just Shelina by herself. We're going to throw her out in the middle of a cemetery and see how she fares overnight, while Clay and I go stay at a comfort inn. TM, because it's there. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so we'll be doing that, and so just stay tuned for that kind of stuff. Also, if you are going to go on our YouTube, which is at Overnight Pictures, you can check us out there, and we also have one of our found footage films that you can see on Tubi, Roku TV, I believe, Amazon Prime, all the streaming services. It's called The Last 5 Days 3, The Freak Building. It's a great found footage movie. One of your favorite actors is in it, so you should check it out. And it's been doing really well on the YouTubes and on the streaming services. So don't forget to check us out there. I have nothing else to say. I'll let you take it away.
Great. I am so excited to share this with you. I have heard many things about this topic from other podcasts and a TV show as well. And I think this is a new concept to you. Have you ever heard of Phrogging?
Well, this is more of a family show. I don't think we should be talking about that kind of thing. That's like when a guy.
So let me just tell you what it's about.
Okay.
So a Phrogger is someone who is secretly living in another person's home without that homeowner knowing.
Oh, it's not the other thing where.
No, not that thing.
Okay.
No. So whether it be in your basement, attic, or crawl space, that intruder hops from one place to another like a leapfrog, hence the name.
Folks living in houses.
Yeah.
That no one knows are there.
Mm-hmm. So if, like, sometimes people have been found in between walls. They have been found, in those crawl spaces underneath your house. So it's not really a basement. It's kind of just like a dirt area if you have that in your house. And Phroggers, I
like
found
a house
out,
on bricks, like
Yeah.
brick, like Florida houses.
Sure.
Okay.
Wherever they have houses like that.
Watch out, guys, Florida.
So Phroggers are actually different from squatters because the Phroggers find an occupied residence and live there in secrecy versus squatters who live in vacant buildings, and their goal is usually to establish their residency there permanently. So if you were wondering what the difference was, that's what that is.
That's terrifying to think of by itself.
Yeah. So like me, prepare to have a new fear unlocked, because this story in particular was one of the creepier Phrogging stories that I had come across. Yeah. So buckle up.
Buckle up, Buttercup. We're going on a ride.
James Campbell was a single father of 2 boys. He and Brittany married in 2018. In April of 2019, the family and their pet cat, Mr. Franklin, moved to Hawaii. They also get a puppy in Hawaii. Their new home was on a cul-de-sac in a community similar to a suburb on the mainland. And the home has 2 stories, so we'll describe the home to you so you kind of get an idea of the layout. When you entered the home, you see the living room and there are high vaulted ceilings. And to the right is a small kitchen and the dining room with sliding glasses. And then when you walk upstairs, and sliding glass doors.
I think we all know what you meant, though. Sliding glass doors. I'm going to start calling them sliding glasses from now on. Very cool.
When you walk up the stairs, you're led into a small hallway, and to the left is the boys' room, and to the right is the master bedroom. There's also one bathroom upstairs that has a door to a crawl space attic.
Gross.
Just letting you know, that's the thing. So after a few months in their new home, Brittany went to the garage. Some of the boxes they had stored were opened with the contents left out, and some of James's music gear was moved around, but she didn't think much of it because, you know, they're still trying to get settled. You know, maybe it was one of the boys, maybe it was James. One of Brittany's routines was to watch and follow makeup tutorials from her laptop. While she was doing her makeup one day, she heard the front door downstairs slam shut out of nowhere. And she just assumed it was one of the boys being rough with the door. Because, you know, younger kids, not really paying attention.
Boys will be boys.
Another evening, Brittany hears the front door open and shut downstairs. She asked James if he had locked the door. And James confirmed, yes, I had locked the door before coming upstairs. Brittany tells him that she heard the door open and close, asking again, are you sure that you locked the door? He says he thinks that she's being paranoid, and he goes downstairs to reassure her.
Isn't that just like a man? Just like a man. To be like, oh, you're just being a paranoid wench right now.
Because that won't happen in my house. We are gonna round up and check all the doors again. Because if I hear it, we're just gonna double check.
I'm the paranoid wench in my house. I check the doors all day.
Well, they're both frustrated with the issue, and not long after, they hear the sliding glass doors open and close.
Oh, shit, no.
James goes back downstairs and checks the sliding doors. They're unlocked, and the sliding screen was not pulled back in place as usual. Brittany was worried why the doors would be unlocked after James said they should be locked. And James thought Brittany, again, paranoid, dismissed her concerns. Similar instances continue to happen, which cause many arguments between the two of them. Brittany starts to think she's imagining things. She doesn't feel like herself. A couple of weeks later, James was playing the piano in the living room. He noticed a shadow lingering outside. Na, 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 na. What do you think he was playing on the piano?
Something from Fall of the House of Usher, probably, or something.
Yeah. I feel like James, if he's dismissing her in this way, he's probably one of those people who tries to get really meta on the piano.
He's either doing that or he's just playing the Friday the 13th.
What if he's...
Ranch. Ding, ding, ding. Okay.
What if he's like, Brittany, I'll show you. Maybe Phantom of the Opera.
Ooh. Nice.
No? Okay.
Maybe.
So he's noticed the shadow that's lingering outside. James stopped playing the piano and stood up. The shadow then walked away. James thought it was just someone being nosy or annoyed with him playing it, so he is definitely playing Phantom of the Opera.
Very loudly. He's not touching those keys softly.
James noticed something written on the family desk calendar one day. It said, "Your rehabilitation starts today. Do as I did, choose a house, clean it, set up devices." Normal. Real normal. So he wasn't sure what it meant. He assumed, we all know what assuming does, he assumed Brittany wrote the message and wanted the house cleaned. So James started being more mindful about tidying up the house, rather than asking his spouse what the calendar meant.
They don't have great communication skills as it is, I feel like.
3 weeks later, the family decided to go see a movie.
3 weeks later.
3 weeks later. Brittany wanted to take a cozy throw blanket they kept in the living room to go see this movie. She went to the couch to get it, but it wasn't there. She asked James and the boys if they had taken the blanket. They all said no. Brittany thinks the boys must have taken it to their room upstairs and they were being lazy not getting it from upstairs. Brittany and the boys went back and forth, but eventually the family just left for the cinema. When they came back home, that missing blanket was neatly folded on the couch. James finally admitted there was something strange going on.
Ghosts.
Ghosts. Brittany recalls seeing the light of her webcam on in the middle of the night. This was from the laptop that she used at her vanity while she was doing her makeup tutorials. She hadn't used it and didn't know why it would be on. She thought about how some people hack into webcams to watch people, but she couldn't think of a reason why someone would spy on her. Here we go.
Here it goes.
On Friday, September 13th, the Campbell family...
Friday the 13th?
Friday the 13th.
Ooh, I'm so glad I said Friday the 13th ahead of time. Okay,
The Campbell family decided to take a trip back to the mainland to visit family. They decided to take an earlier flight back home. They had been gone for about a week. They probably missed their house, probably a drag, having to see everyone. When they arrived home from the airport, they saw James's road bike out as if he had just ridden it himself. Brittany asked if he had left it out before the trip, and he said no. They both looked at each other with worry. They tell the kids to stay in the car. They get out and head into the garage. It was completely trashed. All of the boxes were torn apart and everything thrown everywhere. Not knowing when this happened, James grabbed a sledgehammer and went to the front door, Brittany following behind him. He starts to open the door. And he is met with a strong resistance on the other side. It's...
Okay, hold on.
You ain't ready.
Wait.
Okay.
Hold on, wait. Oh, okay. Okay.
Breathe deep.
Screw that noise.
Breathe in. Through the slim opening of the door, James sees a man trying to keep it closed. The man and James make eye contact.
Oh, you're a dead man. James is gonna kill you.
The intruder says, "This is not your house. You've got the wrong house." James is shocked. Brittany is screaming at the intruder, "Let us in our home." She calls 911, telling them, "There's a man in our home. We don't know who he is or why he's here." James is yelling at the man to get out of their house. Finally, James is able to muscle his way through the door and drag the intruder out onto the lawn.
And beat the shit out of him. Did he beat him up?
James sees the intruder is a young man wearing his clothes.
Fuck. No, dude. No, seriously though. Seriously, listen.
Yeah.
I would have to take the hottest shower. I would have to scrub my skin off in a hot shower. I bet he's wearing his drawers, so I bet he's wearing his underwear. You sick son of a bitch. Does James kick his ass? Please tell me James kicked his ass.
James tells the man that if he doesn't stay still and listen, James will take it as a threat. James asks why the man is here. The intruder replies he has nowhere to go. James thinks he's a homeless man who found an empty place to stay in. So with the kids safely in the car, Brittany yells, concerned about the cat, Mr. Franklin. Of course. Of course. Our puppy has been kenneled. We are very worried about Mr. Franklin. The intruder tells her not to worry. He took care of it, fed him. The cat's still inside the house. She rushes inside to find Mr. Franklin in the puppy's crate. He had no water and looked like the intruder was trying to feed him dried apricots. Now, I love dried apricots, but that's also, I feel like, an acquired taste.
Okay, but I also would have met my daughter in the house. You don't know if there's other intruders in there. I mean, we know it's just this Looney Tune, but they didn't know. So you don't let your daughter in the house, right?
But the cat. And that was his wife.
I'm sorry.
Brittany's his wife.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking daughter because he's been dismissing her the whole damn time. So he was treating her like he's a child. But anyway, by the way, none of this shit would have happened if he just listened to his wife the first time. I'm not even trying to be that kind of guy.
You're right, though.
I mean, obviously he's hiding in a crawl space. No one's going to check in a crawl space. No one's going to check in a crawl space or an attic. But still, I would call the cops, man.
All
Shit.
right. With the cat also okay. So glad for Mr. Franklin. Brittany surveys the living room. It's set up like someone is taking inventory of the items in the home. James' musical instruments are laid out like they're on display for sale.
Oh.
The police arrive as Brittany goes back outside. The intruder was calm and collected. James points out the intruder to police saying, "I don't know this guy. I don't know why he's here." Police speak with the intruder, who seemed to have a casual conversation with the police. The man doesn't resist being handcuffed and is taken away by the police. The family is devastated when they enter their home. Everything is in disarray, like a tornado had gone through the entire house. Except the boys' room. The intruder had done the children's laundry, made their beds, and left their room pristine. Brittany thought it looked like it was made into a sacred space. So, here we go. Buckle it in again.
There's more?
There's more.
Okay, hold on. How could you stay in a house after that? How could you do that? Why didn't the neighbors say some shit? How did no one notice that there was some dude riding around in your stuff? The neighbors must have noticed these people.
I mean, sometimes there are some good neighbors, and there are some neighbors who are like, I'm gonna mind my business because I don't want anybody else into my business. So, I mean, I like a nosy neighbor because I would like for them to report it. Yeah. I don't have anything to hide personally, but I mean...
Yeah, my neighbor and I, we go somewhere, we tell each other, hey, if something weird happens, let me know.
Yeah.
And Ben is very good at letting me know when something happens. Mm-hmm. Jeez.
When Brittany enters the master bedroom, she sees a towel set out with knives on it. Next to the setup was an old computer that had been stored in the garage. She decided to take a look at it and saw a document by the intruder was left open.
No.
There were notes for something called the Omnivore Trials, a rehabilitation for rat-like people. There were journal entries and profiles about each member of the Campbell family. These contained intimate details that had not been shared outside of the family and would have only been known if someone was eavesdropping on private conversations. For example, Brittany and James discussed trying to have a baby and hadn't told anyone. The intruder wrote they should stop trying to have a baby and focus on the children they have. So, they continued to read the intruder's writings, which turns out to be a medical manifesto claiming he would turn the omnivores, the Campbell family, into Ezekiels, which we will get to. He planned various surgeries to perform on Brittany and the children. A list from the document reads: 1. I need a jaundice treatment light. 2. I need a hospital bed, one that can stretch up to 6 feet. 3. I need tools that a surgeon would normally use. 4. I need heart monitors. 5. Blood pressure cuffs. 6. Anesthesia machine. 7. Oxygen tanks. 8. IV equipment. 9. Blood transfusion machine. 9 again. Colonoscopy and endoscopy equipment.
What?
10. Life support machine. And a note from the writings read: I've encountered the most painful episode of my life. It was to show me something, of course, but I'm worried about the birthing process. Now, of course, for the omnivores, the birthing process isn't as bad as mine was. I'm worried for the Ezekiels who have been made. They might go through things not knowing how to handle, but I hope these videos show what is possible for the government and for others who do not like the species. It's wild. His internet search history shows he researched how he would put his plans into action, drugging the family, buying surgical tables, how to perform specific surgeries like removing an arm and sexual reconstruction. They later found serums in the home labeled to use on omnivores. This was his purpose in the home.
It wasn't even just like a hobo trying to find a place to live.
Okay, listen. This is where I want to cry. You thought it was that. This is where I want to cry. Brittany remembered the computer by her makeup vanity.
Oh, hell no, he didn't.
She found a video file of the intruder sitting seemingly naked at her vanity set. It was a makeup tutorial of sorts, seemingly mocking Brittany. She felt like he was using it to connect with her. Part of the tutorial shows the intruder drawing a line on his face, representing a spiritual transformation. And boy, do I have a little excerpt to read of his performance.
Oh, geez. This just keeps getting worse and worse. Are they going to make a movie about this?
Maybe.
Oh
we will
God.
definitely tell you about the episode if you want to watch, because that includes the video of this performance that I am about to give to you. I couldn't find a video on the internets. If you can find it, great.
Yeah.
So it shows him. I don't know if the video itself is like cut off on purpose, but in the TV show, the clip of this is not all of his face. And at this point, he had not been, oh gosh, the word when he had not been found guilty. So they distorted his voice. He goes, "Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me. I'm actually doing this video to show some ways you can change your outer appearance. This is day 2 of the trials that I've been working on. This is one just called cosmetology. Kind of hurts a little, but they believe beauty hurts." Yeah. Suddenly, it dawned on Brittany the webcam light was on when she didn't expect it. How long had the intruder been watching them? The intruder had not only vandalized their home, but he had stalked them, watching them for months. All the strange occurrences started to make sense. When you feel it in your gut, you gotta act on it.
Jeez, this is rough.
We find the suspect, 23-year-old Ezekiel Zayas, was charged with felony burglary. So Ezekiel is his first name. He's making them probably like in his own image of what he thinks he is. And only days later, he was granted supervised release.
There's no way in hell he was planning on doing bodily harm to these people.
Well, I mean, he wasn't convicted yet. That's the word I was looking for. But he wasn't out long, thank goodness. A few weeks later, he was actually arrested for burglarizing the Buddhist study center and was supervised. His supervised release was revoked. Zayas was held in jail during his psychological evaluations. In August 2020, he contracted COVID and was kept in a cell with another inmate, Vance Grace, who had also come in contact with the virus. As a low-risk inmate, Grace was offered early release due to COVID and the overcrowding in Oahu Community Correctional Center. He was weeks away from being released after serving 34 years for theft and drug offenses. In an unprovoked attack, Zayas brutally beat Grace. Guards were delayed in breaking up the savage assault due to faulty cell locks. Grace died of the result of his injuries, blunt force trauma. Ezekiel Zayas was sentenced to 20 years for manslaughter, 10 years for first-degree burglary, and 5 years for second-degree burglary, and an additional 5 years for second-degree assault.
What is the total tally in those years?
What is that? 30, 35, 40.
Not enough.
Not enough. Not at not being 30.
He could be 65 years old and get out of there.
Absolutely
Hell
not.
no, man.
No. Which, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But man, oh man, what a wild story.
That is terrifying.
Yeah.
We all love podcasts. You love podcasts. You guys might once in a while see some stickers on Shelina's laptop. These are called laptops. Computadora. And you like some, I like some. I used to listen to one called Morbid, where they didn't call it Phrogging, but they would talk about this guy that was stalking these two girls that he met out, and he was actually living in their walls.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was terrifying. That's nothing. That guy had a motive, and then he needed a place to stay. This stuff that is bonkers.
Yeah.
Totally bonkers. I have nothing funny to say about that.
Yeah. It's bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
B-A-N-A. How you spell bananas again?
B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
It's bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. When I spell bananas, I have to actually sing the song. Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I hear stuff in the attic all the time. You hear that creeping at night? It's actually not. I've been up there a million times. I'm paranoid of that. We have an owl that jumps on our roof, and owls are huge. They're like Shelina size. They're like that big. So yeah, he's just walking around on our roof doing creepy owl stuff. But yeah, I've had fears of people being in my house.
Listen, talk about scary.
It is scary. It is so terrifying.
I didn't get a rim shot for that.
Oh.
Probably because it's actually scary. I cry a little inside every time I think about the part of her finding the video on her webcam. Like, fine. Watch me through the webcam. You do whatever you do on there, fine. But the fact that you have sit in my sacred space
and use my makeup on your face.
That's fine. It's not fine.
It's not okay at all. It's not okay. You know, a little side note, and I know we're running long, but it's okay, right, guys? When I was a child, I had a stepdad. His name was Rick. We lived in Florida for a while, and he was a maintenance man. And one of his jobs as the maintenance man in this apartment complex we lived in, a lot of apartment complexes in Florida, is he'd have to go when there were reports of people hearing things in vacant, what do you call those? Apartments. Yeah, sorry. Above them, vacant spaces above them, he'd go check it out. He brought me one time. He usually made really good decisions about what to do as far as parenting goes. That was a bad one because I walked in, he was looking around and yelling. He wanted me to see what he does. He went into the bathroom and he put his hand back like this, and he kicked the door and hit somebody in the face, and then wrestled and dragged him out of the place. And he says it happened every night, and to always be careful and get right to the apartment and don't hang out at night. Happened every night. And that was just squatters and vagrants. This mother, he was trying to murder people.
He was frogging.
Not funny anymore. It's not some sort of Urban Dictionary sexual slang. It's not. It's gross.
Oh my gosh.
I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be an exciting episode.
It was exciting for me. I mean, I did want to vomit in my mouth a little bit.
Well, thanks for making my skin crawl. We all really appreciate it.
Hey, listen, I'm here to talk about scary.
Yeah, that's... She didn't disappoint this time around. You really come in your own.
Yeah, I'm a big disappointment usually, but today...
I've been watching her do these, I've been watching her do research, and for some reason today I was watching her do research, and she's awfully quiet. She wasn't right. Very quiet. She didn't really want to converse with anybody.
Keeping it close to my chest.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want to talk right now.
Well, I do want to share. So the meat of this information where I saw some of the manifesto and the video I was talking about for the Frogger is on a TV show called Phrogging, Hider in My House.
Never watching that TV show. Never watching it.
Not unless you want to cry and, have new nightmares. I wouldn't recommend it. But you're exposed now. If you do want to find more information, some are more lighthearted in a way than others. And I mean, lighthearted, I mean not such violent details after, for example, this gentleman has things wrong with him and then committed the murder in the cell. So
he would have never got a chance to commit that murder because I would have killed him. killed his ass.
I mean, the kids were in the car. He was worried about them seeing him in the car. I get that. Okay.
Gross. That just strikes me. But guys, yeah, watch the TV show if you want to watch it. I'm not watching it. I'm good. That's terrifying.
It's horrific.
That's a horrific.
Horrific.
It's freaking horrific.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've a new fear unlocked for sure. Thanks so much for bringing this terrifying subject to our attention. We really do appreciate it. I know you appreciate it.
You know why?
Why?
Because I creep it real.
She does. She creeps it real, guys. So guys, thanks so much for watching today. If you like what you saw today, and we hope you did, please do us a favor. Like and subscribe. And share with your friends and family if you can. That'd be great. We'd both appreciate that. And again, like Shelina just said, creep it real. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
All right. That was
Did it disappoint?
no, it was bad.
I'm so sorry.
That's not good at all. That was a terrifying episode.
It.
This is on the vein of what we do.
Sorry.
Taking it to a very dark place.